Hatchers. Great to see you guys virtually. Miss you guys a lot. Really miss being in the classroom with you guys and seeing your faces every day. But I'm thankful that I get to send these out to interact with you guys and see what you're doing on Google Classroom. So continue to keep working hard on Google Classroom and work making Flipgrids and Padlets and interacting with me and each other. I'm very thankful for you guys. So today we will be reading Chapter 9 of the Westing Games. And I was just looking back to quickly remember what happened in the previous chapters. And in the last chapter, right before Chapter 9 was about to start, somebody had stolen Seidel's notebook, the notebook she'd taken her notes of the will in. And so they were freaking out. Somebody had stolen the notes, which was apparently a big advantage in the game. So hopefully we find a little bit more out about the game today. There's going to be a question for you over in Flipgrid, so head over there to respond to the question after you hear the chapter. Let's get started. Chapter 9, Lost and Found. Early the next morning, a typed index card was tacked to the elevator's back wall. Lost. Important business papers of no value to anyone but the owner. Please return to Seidel Pulaski, 3C. No questions asked. The shorthand notebook was not returned, but the idea of a bulletin board was an instant success. By late afternoon, the elevator was papered with notices and filled with tenants facing sideways and backwards, reading as they rode up and down. Lost. Silver cross on fragile chain, topaz pin and earrings, gold-filled cufflinks. Return to Grace Winslow Wexler, 3D. Reward. These are all posts that are on the bulletin board now. All players willing to discuss sharing their clues come to the coffee shop tomorrow, 10 a.m. Whoever stole my Mickey Mouse clock better give it back. Just leave it in the hall in front of apartment 3D when no one's looking. Turtle Wexler. Order down, not up. Or come on up to the 5th floor and dine in elegance at Shin Hu's restaurant, specializing in exquisite Chinese cuisine. Lost. String of pearls. Sentimental value. If found, please bring them to apartment 2C. Thank you, Flora Boombach. Dressmaking and alterations reasonably priced. Found. 6 clues. The following clues, printed on squares of Westing toilet tissue, were found in the 3rd floor hallway. Braided, kicking, tortoise, a brat. I'm having an informal party this evening from 8 o'clock on. You are all invited. Please come. J.J. Ford, apartment 4D. Turtle, wherever you are, be home at 7:30 sharp. Your loving mother. So now they're all using this bulletin board to put all of their messages on there. Mom, I'm home. No one else was. On reading Mrs. Wexler's note in the elevator, Flora Boombach had insisted, "You must do what your mother says." When Turtle replied, "Like showing her our clues?" Flora Boombach's answer was, "Perhaps so. After all, she is your mother." Flora Boombach was sappy. Always smiling that dumb smile, always so polite to everybody. And so timid. When they had finally reached a snowbound broker, Flora Boombach was so nervous she dropped the telephone. Turtle had to admit to some nervousness herself, but it was the first real order she had ever placed. For a minute there, she thought she might choke on the thumping heart that had jumped into her throat. But she had pulled off the transaction like a pro. Now if only the stock market would go up, she'd show Mr. Westing about refining gold. The next part of the will would read, "Whichsoever's pair made the most money with the $10,000 inherits the whole estate." She was sure of it. "Oh, there you are," Grace Wexler acted, as if Turtle was the tardy one, but she quickly sweetened. "Come, dear, let's go to your room and I'll fix your hair." Her mother sat behind her on the edge of the narrow bed, loosed the dark brown hair and brushed it to a gloss. She had not done that with such care in a long, long time. I wonder why she's doing that. "Have you eaten?" "Mrs. Boombach made me dinner." Turtle felt the fingers dividing the hair into strands. Her mother was so warm, so close. "Your poor father's probably starving. He's been so busy on the phone, changing appointments and all." "Daddy's eating in the coffee shop. I just saw him there." Turtle had dashed in shouting, "The braided tortoise strikes again!" and kicked a surprised Theo in the shin. It was Doug not Theo, who had made the sign. Her mother twisted the 3 strands into a braid. "I think you should wear your party dress tonight. You look so pretty in pink." Pretty? She had never used that word before. Not about her. What's going on? You know, sweetheart, I'd rather I'd rather heard that you won't tell your own mother about your clues. So that was it. She should have known. My lips are sealed, said Turtle said defiantly. Just one eensy beensy clue, Grace wheedled, winding a rubber band around the end of the braid. Turtle replied through sealed lips. Angela came into the small room and tugged Turtle's braid. Only her sister could get away with that. Beaming on her favorite, Grace took her hand and gasped, Angela, where's your engagement ring? I have a rash on my finger. Thump, thump. Saito Pulaski appeared in the doorway. Hi, what's everybody doing in the closet? See, I told you this is a closet, Turtle said. Grace ignored the complaint. It did no good being nice to that ungrateful child, never satisfied, always whining about something or another. Oh, hello, Miss Pulaski. I've been feeling a bit weakly, thank you, but nothing can keep me from a party. Seidel's crutch was painted in black and white squares to match her black and white checkered dress. Her large hoop earrings were also black and white. The white one dangled from her left ear, the black from her right. The party is such a lovely idea, Grace said, warming up to the owner of the shorthand notes. When I saw the invitation in the elevator, I suggested to Mr. Hu that he call the judge to see if she needed hors d'oeuvres. And sure enough, he got an order for 6 dozen. She turned to Angela. Haven't you better get dressed, dear? It's getting late. It's too bad Dr. D can't escort you to the party, but your father and I will take you. Angela and I are going together. We're partners, you know. Seidel had it all planned. They were to appear in identical costumes. Tonight was the night that they would discover if one of the heirs was a twin. I'm going to the party with Mrs. Boombach, Turtle remarked. The sign said everyone's invited. Again, Grace ignored her. By the way, Miss Pulaski, I do hope you've changed your mind about showing me your notes. It was the secretary's turn to seal her lips. She wouldn't put it past that uppity Grace Winslow Wexler to steal the notebook from an unfortunate cripple and then rub it in. Grace tried again, her voice dripping with honey. You know, of course, that if I do win the inheritance, everything I own goes to Angela. Turtle bounded up. Let me out of here. A person can't breathe in this closet. She kicked the bed, kicked the chair, kicked the desk, and elbowed past the disapproving secretary. What in the world is with that child? Her mother said. Judge Ford was instructing Theo in the art of bartending when the telephone rang. The snowbound newspaper had found several items in the files. First, the engagement announcement of Angela Wexler to D. Denton Deere. Next, several clippings of a lawsuit brought against Sam Westing by an inventor named... Hold on, please. Mr. Hu waddled in with a large tray of appetizers. The judge pointed him to the serving buffet and apologized to her caller. I'm sorry, would you repeat that name? James Hu. He claimed Westing stole his idea of the disposable paper diaper. 1 minute, please. The judge cupped her hand over the microphone. Please don't leave, Mr. Hu. I was hoping you'd stay for the party. As a guest, of course, your wife and your son, too. Hu grunted. He hated parties. He had seen his fill of people eating and drinking and acting like clowns, jabbering like... So that's it. Jabbering. Dropping clues. I'll be right back. The receiver hissed with an impatient sigh. Then the researcher went on. I've got a thick file of sports items on another Hu, a Doug Hu. Seems he runs a pretty fast mile for a high school kid. That's all I could find on the names you gave me, but I still have stacks of Westing clippings to go through. Thank you so much. The doorbell rang. The party was about to begin. That is the end of Chapter 9. Go ahead and head on over to Flipgrid to go ahead and participate in a response. Let's see what each other think. See you guys later.